Good morning, everyone. It's Luna Bell. Y'all, I have the card Crown Games, and it's card number 8. I'm going to turn that over and go to infinity there with that. But y'all, Crown Games. One of the things that people feel a lack in or they feel less than, and many of us do. And y'all, trigger warning, this is all for entertainment purposes. All names are fictional. And y'all, this is my personal experiences, okay? 18 plus, trigger warning. But y'all, with Crown Games, mine, one of the things I see that feeling of lack within myself, all my siblings, my mama, that one of those inner key woundings was feeling less than. She was made to feel less intelligent. It was, and it was it did not seem, it was extremely competitive with me and my siblings, but that was a learned behavior that we learned from my mother. She actually encouraged the competition between her children. She would compete openly with her children, okay? But she always felt a need to outsmart everybody. And I understand this. I can see it in the mind of seeing the wounded child within because of the things that she endured herself, okay? And I see how it's carried on. But growing up, we always played card games. We read encyclopedias. We were always reading, okay? We were all very intelligent. All of us are. And I'm not saying anyone is less than or more than anyone else. I'm just stating fact, okay? Now, even in card games, if you played Rummy or anything else, you got to think ahead. You got to plan. And most people, and I think I mentioned the game War a lot to people because it is a mind game. You got to think ahead. If you're going to be a general or above the general, you're going to run the whole thing. You're going to plan to lose one or two, battles or whatever. This is just a story. This is for entertainment purposes. You're going to plan to lose some. You're going to, think ahead. You're going to have all these options. Card games are a way to assess, to skill. And that's what we used it for growing up. I mean, whether you realize it or not. Now, I say this because I see these traits in other people who are like me or my mother, these narcissistic tendencies. And I bring this up because I see it within the mind manipulation, okay? The feeling of less than. And everybody that has been connected to me and my situation, the extensive game stalking, a lot of it is the mind games, okay? And with me, since I am a survivor of the malignant parent with the FDIA, et cetera, and all the flying monkeys, I have the reactive abuse. So if you have the flying monkeys that are still within the wounded lack, and I myself am in the wounded lack and reactive, they want me to react because that if I continue to act out, react to the extreme, then this cements their story or the field of vision, the playboard they have created. Now, I'm going to give you an example. I recently mentioned about several of the game stalkers coming in. One of the the high priestess actually coming in on one of her real accounts and thinking I don't realize. But yes, and I did block that. And as for another one of the things they will do in that high priestess is she told me and many others that she was a hacker for, people north of the border there. But I don't know if that's real or not. You know how people build themselves up. Anyhow, they will use people anybody you dated. And recently I had someone that I blocked for that I saw one or two times. And I blocked them. And suddenly they stopped popping up. That's not them. That's not them. That's people, flying monkeys, using others' information and stuff like that, trying to trigger, okay, the mind games. part of their enjoyment is not just the physical things or the physical pain they cause. It's the emotional, it's the mind game, it's the psych games they play. They want to see if they can hurt you in the worst way possible, but they want to do it to where everybody thinks it's you. They think they fooled everybody. They think they've outsmarted everybody. And they're going, yay me, I'm the smart one. No, we're still the wounded child. We're still continuing the cycle. Nobody, when do we see the patterns? I'm seeing the patterns. When do we stop the pattern? When do we stop the cycle? When do you go, okay, thank you for that confirmation? When do people start taking responsibility and accountability for their own actions? Why does the healing of other people with their own wounded child bother you? Because you're still operating in that wounded yourself, and you want to heal. You want to. You want to be able to do that. But it's not the others that are the ones you're directing this at. That's your internal pain. That's your call for help. That's your inner child going, hey, notice me too. I'm hurting. Me, I see you. And I see that hurt child in you. I don't care what your orientation is. I don't care what your beliefs are. I'd rather care that you do believe in something. I do care about that. I don't care if you're poly. I don't. That ain't nothing to me. But I see you. I see your little wound, but it's not little. And there ain't no Band-Aid that's going to cover it. You got to rip it off and let it heal by what they call secondary healing. That's why you don't tell us to shut down our memories when they're coming back, because we have to process them. We have to honor them. We have to give them the room to let them be expressed, let them be emoted. We have to have the compassion and empathy for our own wounded child, to let that child cry and express its emotion, to express its hurt, to express its joy. And as we do, you see us grow. You start to see us be creative. You start to see us heal and to speak our truth. And that's what I choose. You're not shutting me down. I see the patterns. I see what you're doing. I see the manipulation. I see the hurt child in you. And I hope you choose to rip the Band-Aid off and choose to heal with that secondary healing. That you give your hurt child the room to cry and express its own emotions and its own truth, not what you would project onto others. Many blessings to you. Blessed be.